All right. What's up? So you got a CRM in real estate. You're a real estate professional, a team leader. You got a brand new CRM or you decided to re-engage with your CRM. So now what? What do when you have to tackle a CRM, which is kind of could be one of the biggest opportunities in your business or maybe the bane of your existence, depending how you look at it. But it's usually many when people say it's your first hire, so it's not necessarily your first assistant you make. It's the CRM that you get into a relationship with and a marriage with as your first hire as you build your business. I'm sure Charles here knows much about that. If you're going to meet here in a minute, he's one of the lead developers at Real Geeks, who helps put this show on. And they built an incredible CRM, especially if you're in real estate. And you go to realgeeks.com and get a demo of it. I'm sure they'll tell you everything you want to know about it. But we're going to talk about strategy today and how to set it up. So thank you for tuning in to this week's, or this every 2 weeks, Keeping It Real. My name is Frank Klesitz. I own a firm called Vyral Marketing, as you can see over here. And for the past 12 years, we've been helping real estate professionals stay in better touch with their database. Essentially, we get you on a webcam like this, and then we interview you on a cool product. I'll give them a shout out. It's called Riverside. I'm going to check it out, riverside.fm. And it's what we use to interview you for studio quality to create some helpful educational videos, which we then optimize and promote and send out to your database so you can stay in really good touch. So at Vyral, we run a really good 36 touch, past client centered influence, high quality touch program for you. And it's why I'm here with Real Geeks. So they have the CRM and all those contacts in that CRM, they're probably going to be property updates or buyer drips or whatever the CRM sends out, which Charles will talk about here today, or Chuck rather, we'll talk about today. All right. We kind of add a little extra to it here at Vyral. So you can go check it out, go to getvyral.com and learn more about what we do. And you can go over to Real Geeks and learn more about what they do. But that's all you're going to get on, hiring us. What this show is all about is helping get the most out of your CRM today. So I appreciate you watching. Now, we've been doing these shows for years, and you can go to keepingitreal.com and you can watch all the past shows that we've done with top agents from around the country, just interviewing them and asking them everything that they're doing to get the most from the real estate business, to helping people buy homes, sell homes, building a team, ancillary services. I mean, we've done it all. And you can go back and watch all those shows. And the recording of this show will be here on the YouTube page for Real Geeks. We also put it up on the Keeping It Real page, keepingitreal.com, like I said before. And you can go check it out on a podcast. We have Keep It Real podcasts. That's up on the Real Geeks Facebook page. If you want to subscribe, put your email address in at keepingitreal.com and you can pay attention to new shows that we put out for you. So with that, let's get started. So you got a brand new CRM or you decide to actually pay attention to your existing one. All right. Your very first hire. So Chuck, let's start, my friend. How long have you spent building CRMs in real estate or understanding how they work?
Yeah, so I have been with Real Geeks for about 15 months now. Prior to that, was also working in education, a company called Kaplan, managing student platforms, which had a number of databases that we were using to keep track of all of our students, potential clients, and potential partners that we're going to be setting up. Company. So absolutely. So whether it's education, real estate, you name the industry, I love the way that you set it up, that a CRM should be one of your first hires. I think that's a perfect way to be looking at it.
I consider it a marriage. Like, I can't think of something more painful than switching a CRM, especially if it's built out. Like when you double down on the CRM that you want to use and the company you're going to go with, check out Real Geeks. You want to make sure that it's solid, it's reliable, and it works on the back end, because it's like building your house on the wrong platform. CRM is one of your first hires, without question.
Yeah. And so as with any new hire, it takes a lot of time to train, to develop, to prepare that new partnership so that it will be a help to you and not a hindrance. I mean, the way that you phrased it can either be a huge boost to your business or it can very quickly become the bane of your existence if you're ignoring it.
So let's talk about some of the basic building blocks. So let's kind of think in terms of like, we have this bin, this box, and we have really, really, really big rocks that we put in there, down to medium-sized rocks and small rocks. Sometimes when we're trying to build something, we're focusing all these cool little small rock details, but it's not really filling the bin. Let's talk about some of the biggest rocks that we first put into this box to fix up our CRM, to fill the box full of rocks. How's that for a metaphor? All right.
Yeah, perfect.
So what are the biggest boulders we need to grab first from over here? All right, to put in the box we want to fill up to have like the perfect CRM. Give me some of those boulders. Let's walk through some of the big things you have to have in place or you need to do right away to make sure your CRM is effective for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that today is such, it's so timely to have this conversation when just the other day on our Facebook mastermind group, Greg Harrelson was live talking exactly about tips such as these for, what are mistakes that people are making to not get enough out of their CRM. And I think that he hit the nail right on the head with regards to the number one boulder for your CRM or your customer relationship management platform is you got to get customers in there. That's one of the first things that we try to encourage customers to do when they're signing up for Real Geeks. And whether that's your platform of choice or you're using another one, number one rock that's got to get in the bin, your customers. Start uploading your contacts, start putting your sphere of influence, getting it into that system. Otherwise, who are you building the relationships with?
So let's break that down. Let me give you guys some tips here of what he just said. So the first thing is you need to go to your broker or your brokers, and you've been jumping around to different brokerages, and get a list of everyone you've actually bought or sold a home with. And hopefully you have that own list yourself, so you don't have to go to your broker. But you really got to get a list of all the people who you help buy or sell a home, maybe put it into a spreadsheet, and then enter all those people into your CRM or Real Geeks and put them in a category or a tag as past client. What's the language you use at Real Geeks?
Yeah, we use tags. Is one of the most important segmentation tools that we offer.
Tag. Then I'd probably pull up all your Facebook friends and everyone that you know, as well as take a look at maybe all the people on your cell phone. Start scrolling down to all your phone calls you've made and start making a list of everyone you know. Like literally, if you were to call these people, they'd answer the phone and talk to you. So that's the standard. Like if you were to call these people, would they answer the phone and talk to you? I mean, none of them will probably buy or sell a home with you. Really, they may not be interested, but they're just people you can call that are friends, family connections, that if you call them, want to talk to them, they actually talk to you, right? Without too much work. That's called your sphere. And I would challenge anyone here to build a list of that of about 150 people, no matter where you are in life. All right. Past clients is whatever that is. One, selling your mom's house. Usually might start with some agents, right? Or your own house. Right?
Hey, I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. So put your past clients in. But I think anyone could probably come up with 150 people you know at that standard. And it's actually called Dunbar's number. If you actually Google Dunbar's number, any human probably can only hold a decent relationship with about 150 people. I challenge you to go build that list and put it into the CRM. So we have all your past clients in there tagged with ideally right contact information. And we have everyone you know up to about 150 people by using Facebook as a memory jogger, the phone calls you placed on your cell phone as a memory jogger, the emails you sent as a memory jogger, the appointments on your calendar as a memory jogger. If you call them and you ask them to call you back, will they do it? If that passes that test, they get added to the list, and I bet you can find 150 people. All right. Let's add a third list really quick, Chuck, just so everyone knows what you just said here. Let's go through any leads you have from other systems. Maybe you signed up for some other lead generation service. Maybe you're migrating from their CRM. Grab all those leads. For those of you that are bigger, grab the active ones, the old archives. Throw them out, dude. They ain't going to convert. Find the active ones and bring them over and put them in as either buyer leads or seller leads from any other systems that you have, or any people that you're nurturing or calling, or anyone's in your dialer. You want to add to that buyer leads and seller leads. So inside your CRM, you have your past client tag, sphere tag, buyer lead tag from other systems, and seller lead tag. That sounds about right, Chuck?
Yeah, I think absolutely. And on top of that, I would say that, one of the things that you also want to do is you're organizing that database. Make sure that you're taking the time to set up some, Real Geeks, we call them advanced filters, but ways that you can quickly filter down so that you see those different segments within your growing database list. And then even beyond that, you want to look at, how can I further segment those? Here are all the people that are in each of these categories. Now I want to filter down a little bit further and see which ones have I not reached out to recently. And it's part of maintaining that relationship, maintaining those touch points with them is that frequent contact.
Yeah. So we can get into that. Vyral does a good job of that with your 36 touch. And you guys do a good job of that with the property drips and the home value updates, which we'll get to. That's the first rock. Get the people in the CRM. Past clients, sphere, or centers of influence, buyer leads, seller leads. And then you can drill it down from there. Give me the next rock, next big rock. We're going to go over here and grab it. Put it in the box.
I think
What is
the
it, Chuck?
next rock is you've got to start getting all of your communication set up within the platform. Again, so you've got the customers. Next, we're going to turn our attention, focus on the relationship. You got to be talking. You can't form a relationship if you're not talking, if you're not communicating. So next on the checklist is you're starting to build out your database, expanding your people base, as I'll sometimes call it, is, got to make sure that you've got your phone numbers all connected, whether you're, a solo agent or you've got a team, on Real Geeks. And I know other platforms will offer ways to make sure that folks who call into office numbers get routed to the right individual. You want to make sure that it's integrated with your CRM so that you start building activity histories. You can see, when have I reached out to those leads? So again, you start trying to focus on each of your segments and you want to see who have I reached out to and who have I not reached out to recently. Having all those communications connected with your phone, your email. You mentioned that something really cool with regards to importing leads from other lead sources. A whole lot of different CRM platforms. It's so cool the way that they're set up to be able to integrate with different systems. We live in an age with all of this new digital management of databases and connecting with people. The platforms can all connect and speak with each other at Real Geeks, whether that's through Zapier or API Nation.
Yes.
We try to provide the means for you to be able to pull in those communication and lead generation sources.
So setting up your communications, let's break that down, what Chuck just said here. You probably have a phone system. Hopefully it's a little bit different than just your cell phone. And the reason he means by that is I'm assuming that when you call for your CRM, it logs the call on a record of some type, right?
Yep.
So you probably want to get some type of soft phone on your computer or something that has an app on the phone, or the CRM maybe have its own integrated phone system. But you want to start using a phone system that integrates with CRM, or a CRM that has a phone system built in, so the calls and the activity is logged correctly. In addition to that, you probably want to get your email account, whether it's Outlook or Gmail. So whenever you email a lead or communicate with the lead, whether it's through Outlook or Gmail, or it's in the CRM where you're communicating with the lead, it's logged on the record for the activities. That's the whole reason why you get these things, so you can keep track of the calls and the communications and the emails that are going through. All right. Also, if you have any other lead sources, make sure that they're automatically getting pushed into Real Geeks. Or if you signed up for some type of lead generation service that Real Geeks has, like Real Leads, those get pushed into the CRM as well. So making sure now that everyone's in there, making sure phone systems work, email systems work, and any further leads are automatically getting added for your communication. I'll add something to this. It's time to start prospecting. So now that all the contacts are in there and you've linked up your phone, you've linked up your email, and new contacts are being added from other maybe online sources when people register on the website, you got to get on the phone. And great agents speak to at least 10 people a day. I mean, at least. I mean, what are you doing if you're not? Great agents are probably somewhere up near towards 30. Depends upon the quality of the lead source and how many people you have to call to get to that. But I'd say any agent that's making a living, let's say like actually making a decent living in real estate, is speaking somewhere between every day 10 to 30 people in their CRM a day in some way, whether it's past clients or Sphere, following up with leads, to basically see who's looking to buy or sell a home, to get to an appointment, get to a contract. I think we could all agree with that. So step number 2, get your communication set up so you can effectively prospect and speak to 10 to 30 people a day.
Absolutely. And I would and that one other item I'd add to that list that you were talking about there, Frank, is your calendar. Getting your calendar integration so that as you start speaking, as you're prospecting, get those follow-ups set up so that you know, who am I meeting with and when, who do I need to reach back out to and when.
All right. So the people are in the CRM. We've connected all of our communication to it, so it's logged in there. And we start working out of the CRM, which is the whole point, right? And logging our follow-up dates and our communication and the stages, the status of everyone. And we're speaking to 10 to 30 people a day, that's what you signed up for as a salesperson in real estate, right? That's what you're going to do. Or you have enough money to hire someone to do it for you. But for most of us, we start there. All right. What's the next third big rock to get the CRM going?
Yep. I think I would add on top of that, one of the most common questions that we get is, all right, I'm all set up. I'm having my leads come in. How do I know which are the 10, which are the 30 that I should be reaching out to? So my answer for that next big rock is you want to start setting up all of your tools for identification and prioritization. The CRM, it's fantastic. You can do whether it's a lead scoring. Yeah, look at the way that you run your business and the way that you are going to progress people through your sales pipeline. With Real Geeks, we recently released what we call the status bar that sits across our leads table, shows progression from when they're brand new, first coming in, all the way up through closed, gives you that visualization and the ability to filter down and focus on those specific leads. But I would advise, set up your advanced searches for your segmentation groups.
Got it.
Layer onto that, who have I not reached out to lately? Start taking time to dig into who is set up on those property searches that you mentioned, who has automatic workflow set up, who's been active, like who's gone to my website and who keeps coming back. Those are the customers that, they're clearly engaged. They want to interact with you. So set up your filters so that you know which are my 10 that I want to be contacting each day.
So step number 3 is get them on the drips and use the drips essentially. So step 3 is you're prospecting, you're reaching out. You're calling people who own homes and you're saying, hey, just want to reach out and say, hi, I got this cool new tool in my fancy CRM that will maybe keep you updated on your current home value. Would you like to get the monthly update? And you add them to the home value drips, right, Chuck?
Yeah, I'd say so. And I would also advise, hey, don't be afraid to experiment, trying different tools, trying different ways to communicate. Something that comes across, with all the customers that we're speaking with, sometimes when they're first starting out with the CRM, now I've got this thing, what do I do with it? They're a little afraid to experiment or to try setting up a new report, to try setting up a new filter or a new drip, because they recognize, hey, I've made an investment here. This is important to me. I've heard that it's critical for my business, so I've decided to, put up the investment of the time and the money, the resources to make it work. I don't want to break it. And so you've got your CRM. Now what? Experiment. Try new things. You've got your customers in there. You've got your communication tool set up. Try all the things. Like understand how the tools work and get a sense for how do they fit in with your business, the way that you're going to progress leads, and set them up on those workflows.
I'd reach out to every single homeowner that you know in there, get them on the home value drips or the campaigns. I reach out to anyone who might be interested in buying a home and really figuring out what their exact criteria is and set that criteria up for them in the system to make sure they get the property update notifications for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would even go so much. Great. I would even go so far as to say, can I get you pre-qualified for a lender and maybe have a separate lender pipeline in the CRM of people you passed over to a lender to get pre-qualified? Those are the reasons you're calling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can help them protest their taxes, help them protest their taxes. You can call them up and invite them to a home buyer workshop, home seller workshop. These are all the reasons for you to reach out, and then you start putting people on their respective campaigns or follow-up messaging, if you will, of what they're interested in. So you kind of have some idea of like what needs these people have that you can solve as the solutions provider.
I love the way that you phrased that.
Yeah, I think I said that came out smart.
That was very smart, Frank. You're the solutions provider. So think about, when was the last time that you were buying something, Frank, and you were doing some research? Did you go straight to one source and said, yes, I want to buy this thing from here?
No, because all the salespeople are terrible. They're all trying to pitch me their thing and they're not trying to solve my problem.
Exactly. So you explore lots of different solution providers. Who's going to provide the best solution? Yeah. So the leads that are coming in to your CRM, this is something else that Greg Harrelson has spoken very frequently about. They're also in other CRM too. So as you set them up on their property searches and you go in and you customize and you edit those, we call them super save searches on the Real Geek side that allow you to get really granular, based on what your customers say they're looking for. You can make sure that they're getting reports on those specific types of properties and have those features. But it's a way that, again, going back to customer relationship management, you're building that trust. You're showing that you're listening to them, their needs. You're providing them with the reports and the information that they need and that they're looking for so that they know of all of those possible solution providers, you're the one that's going to help me get what I need.
Mm-hmm. So getting the people in the CRM, linking all your communication up to CRM. Third rock, start calling and putting them on their respective marketing plans for each need they have, like we just discussed. And through those marketing plans, you can track who's opening and who's clicking and who's engaging. You can do all the cool spy work on the back end, the technology allows you to do. All right. And then you can kind of maybe kind of prioritize your follow-up, with the people clicking the links, with the people that are actually going to the website. So instead of just kind of, randomly calling this whole list, you kind of see who's recently been engaging with you. And it would be ideal if you probably started with those individuals, but you got to get those people in the CRM and your communication set up and reach out to them to put them on some type of marketing plan they actually want that's relevant to them. And then you can track who's engaging and prioritize your follow-up that way. We got a question here from Deborah. Thank you, Sean. Here's our producer. For the monthly report, are you sending the market report or the advanced search monthly? I don't know what that is. That's a Real Geeks question.
Yeah, I'd say for that's going to be our monthly market report. It's going to give all the recent sales, home values in the area for the address that's entered. And that's its own thing. It's cool. That monthly market report is what we call it.
So again, lots of different things you can send. Just make sure you're sending something relevant that what people want. That's it. Is relevancy. Hire more relevancy score by segmenting out different problems or areas or interests. That works well. We did something with Greg Harrelson a long time ago, you keep referencing, that has a tag in his Real Geeks for every neighborhood. So if somebody lives in that neighborhood or wants to buy in that neighborhood, he tags them. So whenever he has information about a neighborhood, he hits that neighborhood list, just listed, just sold, neighborhood market update. And then he has very specific Facebook ad audiences for each neighborhood. He's really segmented all of Myrtle Beach down by individual condo buildings and individual neighborhoods is how he's able to get the information. Now he's super advanced and there's thousands of deals a year. You have to have a real infrastructure to do something like that, but that kind of shows a little more relevant with the information, the more engagement we're gonna have. So those are our 3 rocks. So let's go to a 4th rock. Might be a little smaller. What is it? Let's grab it. Let's put it in the box. What's the next thing you do now that you got your CRM to get this thing rocking and rolling?
Yeah, I'd say continuing to build on the foundation that we're laying touches on exactly what you were just mentioning there, Frank, is relevancy. Starting to take the time to listen back. You likened having the CRM is, not just a new hire, but, a tool that you're forming a relationship with. Good part of any relationship is making sure that you're listening. Your CRM is collecting all sorts of information about how your prospective clients are performing home searches, the activities they're taking, the communications that you're having with them. You want to take time to listen to all of that critical information that your CRM is just absorbing. So spending time going through lead activity histories. What properties are they looking at? What are their average price points?
What are flags?
Yeah, so flags will show if a lead is active on the site now, if they've been active on the site recently. It's one thing that we're continuing to lean into, and we've got some exciting projects down the road to be introducing more of these flags and notifications. But the whole purpose is to make it clear to our agents, hey, your leads are being engaged. They are active on the site. This is what you've been waiting for with all the communications that you send out. They want you to take the next steps with them. They're ready to progress forward. So I'd say next big rock is, taking the time to use the CRM to listen to your leads and developing content for your messaging and for your interactions that's going to be relevant. The more relevant it is to them and their needs, the more they feel that you're listening, the more they're building that trust, and they feel the relationship is growing, where, again, they want to turn to you as that solution provider.
For the longest time at Vyral, I've basically told people, how do you build a business? It's just 3 things. Go get permission from people to stay in touch about what you do or the problem you solve. That's the way we're looking at it. Get a list of people that give you permission to stay in touch about the problem you solve. Send them lots of stuff. Whatever.
Everybody likes stuff.
And then, emails and Facebook ads and trips and campaigns and calls and texts, whatever. Do a lot of it that's relevant in some way. Then third, look at who's consuming the stuff and call them. That really is it. I mean, I could take any business and saying, what are we doing to get permission from people that send them stuff to help solve the problem? Send them lots of stuff, and then find out who's consuming it and call them for appointments or referrals. That kind of sums up where the CRM is. And it's that number two, the stuff and the management and everything else to know who to call. And all the cool things in technology now are tracking kind of who's doing things. I mean, for the longest time, we would send out a video. Let's say, for example, on the 3 things you must absolutely know before you sell your home. All right. So 3 things you must absolutely know before you sell your home this summer. Send it out. There's 60 people that click to watch it. I'd call them. I don't know. That would make sense to me, but common sense isn't so common, right? You would reach out to the people consuming this stuff because there's probably a little more higher likelihood that might lead to a conversation that leads to money, right? So that's the deal. Couple more things. What else do you want to cover? What are other things people need to know? Now you got a CRM. Now what?
Yeah, I think that the next thing kind of building from there is you focus on, learning from your leads, learning from, what do they need? How can I provide relevant content? I think that, again, likening it to like a relationship, you got to take the time. So often, we hear from our customers how they're focusing on generating the leads. We want to get more leads, and that's great. We're here to help with that.
Let's talk about engaging with them. Okay, so you can call them, you can text them. What are all the other ways to get a response? What are all the tools a CRM has to uniquely get their attention to respond to you with your message?
Yeah, so you got calls, you got texts, postcards is a feature that Real Geeks offers, varying up the different types of emails that go out. Maybe you have learned from your leads that you've got a lot of people that are searching for a particular neighborhood or school district. So you can customize monthly newsletters. You can customize information about the community and goings on, that might attract them to be like, oh, hey, I really do want to move there. I like that I'm hearing stuff from Frank about, how great this neighborhood's going to be if I live there. We talked a little bit about the property searches. So I'll take a moment to really emphasize that. If you're looking for a home, obviously the most relevant piece of information you could be sharing with that customer is what homes are for sale in that area, what homes match the search criteria. So every lead, you got to go in, you got to set up that property search. Or if they're a home seller, get them on a monthly market report so that they can see what are the value of homes being sold.
Right.
Those are critical. Another way to vary up the communications, we talked about workflows. Workflows are a fantastic way when you have all of these leads coming in and you're trying to decide, who am I going to focus on? You set up a whole broad swath of your database, each segment on a different workflow that's going to be relevant to them. Sharing that content about the community, the homes in the area, could be a variety of text message or emails. And then you see who's responding to that. And again, that's going to keep you informed about who's ready to take the next steps. Who are you going to prioritize reaching out to?
Good. Other questions, Sean, our producer? Any questions coming in from wherever we're live streaming around the world on this, from any of the chats, any of the messages that we can answer? Let's see what we got here. Not at the moment. You guys have anything you want to know about? You have a CRM, now what? I got to maybe throw in one last thing. And this is something I've been dealing with for a long time with anyone in real estate. And just because you're in sales, right? The ability to slow down and take the training to learn how to use it. So yes, put all your contacts in here, do all of this, but there is a job at every legitimate company of a CRM administrator. It is kind of the person that holds the book of rules of how we're going to set up the business and organize all the contacts and how we're all going to communicate together using the same language as we move someone from someone who doesn't know who we are all the way to like a closing and a referral. And there's different life cycle stages and processes for all that. It is really your job as the person who purchased the CRM and the owner of the business, until you can afford a CRM administrator. You'll be probably doing about $10 million a year in GCI before maybe you're doing something like that, $5 to $10 million a year in GCI. That's your job. And it's your job to know the CRM. So when you hire in the ISAs or you hire agents or you hire transaction people and put them in there, you're the one that's going to have to be the glue that holds everything together, that teaches them actually how to use it. Even at Vyral in my businesses, I'm having meetings all the time of what's the best CRM methodology, how do we tag it, how do we organize it, how are we all communicating using the same language, and being able to put together a strong CRM methodology where you understand how to use the software is your responsibility. of taking the training and learning how to use the product. That investment will pay off greatly as your first hire, as you have now the spine or the backbone of your business that you're now married to, that you're going to start putting all your contacts and communication, all your staff and all of your infrastructure on that platform. You have to know how the platform works. I would say take the training. All right. Charles, this is a lot of information for some of the new CRM. I don't think we have to go for much longer. I'm very happy with this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to cover? Anything else anyone should know about what they need to do to get started, get a CRM? Now what that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, no, I would just emphasize that last point and tie it back to what I was mentioning earlier. Don't be afraid to experiment with it. There's nothing that you could do to break your new tool that can't be undone. With Real Geeks, we've got a fantastic support team, always happy to help new users learn how to master the platform, starting with the basics, building up from there. But don't be afraid to try out different tools. Don't be afraid to try out different communication methods. As you were saying, Frank, take the time to learn. It's a big investment. Like CRM will be such a huge boost to your business, but taking the time to get it set up, to learn how to use it. And then once you are feeling good, taking that time each day to spend time looking through, seeing what are your prospects doing, how can you reach out to them? How can you continue to engage them? That taking the time, I think, is one of the most important things.
We got a question here. Thank you, Chuck. We have a question here I was looking at. You mentioned video. Have you had much success at sending videos? There's really kind of three options. First, and I think Real Geeks does a good job with this, is sending one-to-one video. You have a lead, you have a contact, and you want to send them a short, personal message, right? You guys
Absolutely.
have an integration for that to be able to send a quick personal message via video?
We do. We have integrations with tools such as BombBomb. We've also got our own Real Geeks video that's just integrated right to the system, allows agents to be able to record short personal videos. And that's such a fantastic way to move beyond just the text of written communication, showcase your personality, showcase who you are. It's all about building that trust, forming those relationships.
Second type of video is kind of more of a longer form, couple of minute Q&A educational video. That's what we're really popular here at Vyral for, is that we interview you on a webcam to answer commonly asked questions about real estate. So let me give you some questions that if you were to create videos answering these questions, you'll get a really, really good response. Let me see if I can find those questions. Here's some I came up with today. How do I, I'm sorry, this is for recruiting, but is the market going to crash now that interest rates have jumped up? How do I get my offer accepted? How do I get my purchase offer accepted in this hot market? All right. What improvements should I make to my home to get the maximum ROI on my home sales price? All these investors and home buyers are calling me. Should I accept their offers? These are questions people ask that you might want to create a video with an answer and send it out. And then last, probably some of the more effective videos for social media advertising, you're going down that path, are little 15-second reels. I actually want to play one, if it's all right, of a little 15-second reel that gets people to message you if to sell their home. I'll play one really quick. Here we go.
Sacramento homeowners, I have 28 pre-qualified buyers that will pay top dollar for your home. The market in Sacramento is crazy. So message me, FaceTime me into your home, and I'll tell you exactly what they will pay you.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, short, sweet.
Yep. I'll play it one more time.
Sacramento homeowners, I have 28 pre-qualified buyers that will pay top dollar for your home. The market in Sacramento is crazy. So message me, FaceTime me into your home, and I'll tell you exactly what they will pay you.
So run that a couple thousand times and people will message you about selling their house. Lead generation, right?
There you go.
So there's an example of, put them into the database, follow up, put them on the drips, make the calls, boom, right?
Booming business.
Yeah. So that's an example of a reel. We make it viral. So what else? Any other questions, Sean, before we wrap up? Our producer, any other questions? Feel free to ask him now. I got a CRM. What's next? It's okay. I think not. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming to Keep It Real. You can watch the replay right here on the YouTube channel. Go to keepitreal.com. We're going to post a write-up and also a bunch of goodies of the show. Chuck, thank you for offering your expertise today of how to get someone up to speed quickly on CRM. And if you want to start using video in some way, kind of more at a higher scale, there's the one-to-one messages, which you can get very easily through the Real Geeks CRM or using a BombBomb product. There's a product called Loom, Loom, you can check out. If you're looking for a full-blown 36-touch video marketing strategy list, give this company over here a call. Check them out. I think they might do a good job. And go to realgeeks.com to request a demo if you need a good CRM. They do great work. Appreciate you. Thank you, Chuck. Have a great day, buddy.
My pleasure.
Take care, everybody.